Welcome to the TMTA Lunch and Learns. This is session 3 of branding. So we're helping you build a brand, launch the brand, and then connect your brand. And today's focus is online with your website and digital marketing. And we are guests of the TMTA with Joe Padula. And I could make Joe come up over here into the screen, but I won't. So we thank Joe, and for the people here in person, they're enjoying a delicious Jimmy John's lunch, which I'm not eating right now, but it looks good. I'll eat after. And then today we also have with us Jimmy Paul from Momentum. So they specialize in website digital marketing for manufacturing and industrial clients. So really excited to hear from Jimmy today as well. What we want to do is get right in and end on time. So we're going to cover today branding recap sessions 1 and 2, super quick. And you'll get more of that. We have recordings of those if you want to look back deeper into those. And then we're going to cover rethinking sales and marketing, developing a compelling message. What's in green is what Jimmy's going to cover. Create a digital marketing strategy, increase website traffic through SEO. Aren't we all excited about that? Generating and capturing leads online, digital and retargeting ads, and growing your brand awareness online. And then I'll come back with nurturing those leads that you captured with email marketing, and then using automation to create a process-driven funnel. So let's let automation do the work for us. So to go back, let's with our recap. We started talking about what a brand is. So those tangible.
Yeah. So I will, you know what? I'll let you know.
Thank you. But a brand is made of tangible and intangible pieces. So we covered those when you've got a unique product or service, and then a logo is tangible and your website is tangible. Marketing and sales tools are tangible. Packaging and delivery. Oh, those are kind of the pieces that you manage, your social media operation systems, how people interact with your company. That is their experience, and that builds your brand. How do you manage that confusion? We talked about pulling it all together, the abstract, intangible, and then the tangible pieces of your brand. The foundational pieces, and this is all in session 1, your purpose. This is what drives people and gets them excited about your business. And then your mission, vision, values, your key differentiators, and your brand promise. All of this informs and feeds the rest of it. Your sales collateral, your website, what goes on there, how you drive your process, customer delivery, invoicing, everything comes through those key foundational pieces of your brand. Then you pull them together on a brand blueprint, just put it on one page. You use this for internal purposes, for onboarding, training, sales, marketing. These are the core pieces of what makes your company unique. You really want to nail those. And then pull them together. We do these beautiful brand blueprints in a graphic interest way for our clients. So now we want to walk you through the story. You've got those abstract pieces. Now let's talk about your branding from a beautiful look, that impactful impression that it makes. So we talked in session 2 about taking an outdated logo and updating it. And we talked about the process. And if you're looking into rebranding, what you want to look for, red flags, warnings, go back to session 2. And then what you're going to need to keep that look professional so that you can look like a big guy, like the players do out there that know what they're doing with branding. In a standards guide, file formats that are keeping you aligned and your brand on consistently presented everywhere it is. We want to talk about your brand chief officer. We mentioned that too. Your chief brand officer is going to make sure everything, the messaging, is that it can be someone internal, it can be an agency partner that makes sure your brand is communicating everywhere it's seen and heard throughout your company. So here are just examples of where you're going to be. I mean, it's just endless how many touch points your brand has visually, messaging, and then the interactions with your people. So now we're moving into online. We talked about this in session 2, and we're excited to get going on to social media and your website, and then email marketing. So remember, keeping it simple, the 2 goals of branding are to build trust, Trust is the bedrock of modern branding. It is the ultimate shortcut to a buying decision. No one will give you $1. They shouldn't if they don't trust you. And then be remembered for the right reasons. That's a great message, niche, and your delivery, your customer service. Basic, keep those in mind. So we want to talk about the marketing sales funnel. Connecting online is the key to a wider and more profitable marketing and sales funnel. When you've got an audience like this, you guys are in different places. Some of you are really on target with marketing online, and you just need to tweak some things. You want to get, what's up to date, and others are still back in the yellow pages. So we want to try and give a broad reach for this group, for this audience today. When we think about how buying has been done for generations past, traditionally the majority of the buyer's journey was controlled by the customer. Or by the seller. So they would come to your door, or they'd learn about you. They're calling you up, and you're driving the sales process through awareness, consideration, aware of their problem, aware of you. They're considering their options and then making the decision. That was primarily done by in a human connection with the seller. Things have changed. So by 2020, most of it is done before someone even contacts your facility or your salespeople. So they've looked online. Think about what you're doing when you're going to make a purchase, bigger purchases for a car, or a quicker purchase, like where you want to go eat. Most people are checking things out online. They've done their research. So before they've called you, they've interacted perhaps for sure with your website, maybe your social media. They've downloaded some information. What are they learning about you? If you don't have those things available for them, they're getting it from your competitor. And so your competitor has been the first to answer the door, and you don't want to have that. So we want to talk a little bit about inbound versus outbound marketing. We're going to touch on both of those today. So you may be familiar with those. Outbound marketing is more focused on what the marketer is going to do. It's more interruptive, like cold calling, cold emails, just shooting out emails, or ads popping up in your face. Well, that ads can be of a service to people, or they can be interruptive. And then there's customer-centric, that is inbound. It's permission-based. You're developing content and you're providing information that is going to help your customers. And it's quality content. It's not just thrown out there by ChatGPT, and it's relevant emails that are answering their questions. So before they even call you, you have overcome objections. You've given them information about your products or services. Your ads support. So Jimmy is going to talk about retargeting ads. If they've been to your website, maybe they were interested and then life got busy, a retargeting ad can nudge them back. Hey, you were interested in this page and want to learn more. So those are the differences with inbound and outbound marketing. Now we want to talk about getting that message right. So just putting any words out there, it's not going to achieve that goal of being remembered for the right reasons. So we're going to cover a 16-second story or your elevator pitch, your clear message in the client's words, how to get that. And then think about your website as your internet focal point. It's where you want to drive people from social, from ads, from interviews, podcasts. You want to drive them to your website so that you can guide them to making a decision, setting up an appointment or call, demo. And then lead generators, nurture campaigns, your sales process so that you can connect. So starting with the 16-second story, when we got back to the beginning, remember laying your groundwork. Here's an example of a brand blueprint we did with Kirk's Fleet Transit Equipment since 1946. This brand blueprint covers all those abstract pieces that help them deliver consistently in all their marketing, sales, and their products and services. So right in the center there is their elevator pitch. And I want to show you the 3 parts to that. Part number 1. Start with your customer, your ideal customer's problem. It creates a story loop like, hey, that's me, and I have that problem. And then part 2 is how you help them become the hero. It's so easy for us to come in as service providers and say, hey, we'll save the day. We want them to save the day by choosing us. So there's wording that helps you do that. And then their successful outcome. Your messaging, I go to so many websites and it's we do this, we've got this, our story, our. make it about them. This is your problem. This is how we'll solve it for you. This is what you can do. So an example is Kirk's, their ideal customer's problem. Fleet and transit companies need reliable parts, yet they're stuck between OEM expensive parts or unreliable repairs. So if I'm in the fleet and transit industry, I immediately relate to that. It's in my language. That is true. OEM replacement parts are expensive, they're frustrating, and then there's the unreliable repairs we get from some of these shops that promise to remanufacture, but they're really not. So then how we help them become the hero. Our solution. Since 1946, Kirk's has been helping people get out of the parts trap. We build, remanufacture, and source reliable, approved equal parts and partner with you to make it easy. So that approved equal is a phrase that they use all the time in the with transit authorities. This means it's approved equal to the OEM. Right then and there, I go, wow, these people know what I need. And then their successful outcome. Our customers get the total package to confidently keep them moving. That's what they need to do. So you can adapt that in a networking group, in a sales conference, and your whole team can know it. We're going to talk about creating a revenue team culture. Everyone from your customer service, in office, people learn this. This is who we serve, their primary problem, how we solve it, and their happy ending, their customer success story. So when we first started with Kirk's, we talked about this in the beginning in the session 1. It took them a long time to explain what they did, and it was confusing. And a lot of industrial manufacturers have, well, we do this and we do this and we do this. We've got so many services and product lines, and we've got different categories of revenue streams. If you nail it into one, or you might need to make a couple depending on your audience. So when you got that relatable message, as soon as they come to your website, you are talking to them. So how do you relate to them? How do you get this messaging? To build trust, speak their language, and become their guide. And I want to talk to you quickly about the story brand method to build your own brand script. Don Miller, if you're not familiar, developed the story brand process. And these are elements that we've always used in marketing, but I really appreciate the way Don Miller has done it. We use it in our workshops now with clients, and it helps them see it, the whole picture. We talked about your customer being the hero. They are the character in the story. And I am just of the generation, I just think everybody has seen the first Star Wars with Luke Skywalker. And now I'm talking to younger people, and they, I don't know what that. Well, I'm just going to use that example for this story. So Luke Skywalker is the character, and he has a problem. His problem, he's got 3 levels: the philosophical, good versus evil; the external, yikes, they kill my parents, they kill my, or my, whatever, did he think his dad died? And his aunt and uncle, and they've got this Death Star thingy that has to be annihilated. And then there's the internal problem. Can I become a Jedi? So your customer has a philosophical problem. These OEM people, I've got this budgets, and then my external problem is I need to keep these buses moving, and my internal problem is I've got to meet this budget, I've got to do this, and I've got my supervisor breathing down my neck. The more we can understand where they are in their day-to-day world, the better our messages will be. So now they meet a guide. The guide is you. You are the Yoda, or who's the other guy? Obi-Wan Kenobi. You've been there. You've guided people through this process before. You can show them the way. Hey, this is how. Don't worry. You can do this. You can be the hero. We'll show you how it's done. We'll guide you through it in a way that makes you absolutely confident and satisfied. And then that's the plan you give them. You want to tell them what to do and how to do it. Call to action on your website, in your ads. You need to tell them the next step. I can't tell you how many websites I get to, or I'll see ads, digital, print, and they don't tell people what to do. Just even a click here. We want them to either fill out the form, get the download, set up a demo, call for a quote, get a free trial. What do you want them to do? Tell them, and then make it easy. Reduce the steps to make it easy. Help them take that next step and remove those barriers. And then show them how it will end in success. You're going to have this wording on your website and the risks. So we know in sales, if people are here, they think they're here, they're doing great. But when you come along, you say, hey, you work with us, you're going to do this much better. Well, that gap might not be enough to actually motivate them to take action, right? So if I'm going to try your lubricants in my facility, that's a lot of time and investment to just make a little bit of savings. But if you can create a risk, if you don't do this, you're also risking this. Now the gap is bigger, and that can make that motivation. I could be losing out. So make sure you always include a little bit of a risk if they don't go with you, how your solution solves that problem. And then think about the transformation, because we want you to be successful in blah, blah, blah. Now you can confidently hire this. Now you can confidently implement this. Now you know the software will be implemented without any hesitation or glitches and done on time and on budget. So that can all be done on your own at mystorybrand.com. You'll get a form that looks like this. It's a free service, and you can do it internally. I highly recommend that you do use a consultant. We do it in workshops with clients. You can find whoever you might choose to work with you. It does a couple things. It helps them reflect what they're hearing from you. The consultant hears it and says, okay, that's a lot of jargon. Is this how your customers are talking? And filter through some of that. And then the other thing is that it helps you set an appointment, you get it done, right? How many efforts, marketing, branding initiatives are happening in your company or on that on deck to-do list, and they're not getting done. So schedule an appointment with a consultant. You'll get your team together, you'll work on it, and they'll help you tweak the wording and then try it out. It's really a hugely helpful exercise. So now you want to connect, you've got that language, you can put it on your website. On your header, that's the people will call it the hero, that beginning top part, your solution in a clear message, not something vague, very clearly. We help fleet and transit companies get the parts they need, approved equal parts, whatever that quick, so that they know right away in a blink of an eye, these people are my people. And if it's niched, you'll be able to deflect all those calls you're getting for the wrong thing. Yeah, no, we only do zinc. Yeah, we only do zinc die cut. Sorry. Get those people off. Don't waste your time with having people call you that you don't service. So filtering out that way. You want to include on your website. This takes no money. You just have to type out the words in the back end, the problem in their words, the value, your unique solution. Remember the risks if they don't buy with you. The proof, your validation is testimonials, numbers, other customers that you're servicing. That's the trust. Remember, getting back to the basics, build trust. And then the call to action. Remember how easy it is to do business with you. This is the plan. And then your lead generators, your irresistible offer, a download that you can get. How'd I do? I did really good on time. So Jimmy has plenty of time to cover what he wants to do with websites. So we're excited to learn about digital marketing with Jimmy Plouffe from Momentum. Take it away, Jimmy. Come on up and lead the way.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Jimmy Plouffe with Momentum. A little bit about myself before we jump into things. I've been in the online world and digital marketing world since I was 16 years old, and starting to build my own websites for fun. Long story short, I was able to translate that into a successful career, having run a couple web agencies, other online businesses, and most importantly, being able to help businesses get results online through a variety of different means. And that's what we'll be discussing today. So, one of our main focuses at Momentum is working with companies in the industrial and manufacturing industries. So we've got over 50 manufacturers that we work with, and helping them find new ways to reach their customers, reach new employees. As Linda mentioned, the different components of your overall brand, have typically point back to your website. And so we'll be discussing the importance of having that become the hub of your business online. So when we talk about how we can get your company to the next level, we want to discuss where we start, and then how can we maintain and manage and improve that process. And that begins with a strategy. Everybody's familiar with creating a strategic plan or having an annual, strategic review of your company's goals and initiatives, maybe more from an operations or manufacturing standpoint. But in today's day and age, having a digital strategy is imperative if you want to reach, reach today's buyers and engineers. So first and foremost, we're going to talk about how you can create a plan for your business that's going to be measurable and something that you can improve over time. And that's going to be a real value add for your company, whether your goal is to find new customers, better engage your existing customers, or even drive new employee or candidates through your company. And we have a variety of topics we'll be touching on today that involve different aspects of digital marketing, what you can do as a manufacturer or industrial service provider to accomplish your goals through digital. So we'll get started with creating a digital marketing strategy. We've got several steps that we want to take. But first, we want to talk about creating a plan. So, and a digital marketing strategy
And I want you to keep that in mind.
A digital marketing plan can be very simple, and I honestly would recommend starting at something that's simple. As we all know, we've created the 10-page long, plan at the end of the year, all our goals and a bunch of bullet points and everything that we want to cover. And then we turn around a year later and that document's kind of just collected dust on the shelf. So we want to create something that's actionable, something that's realistic, and something that we can grow upon as you evolve and become more digitally focused with your marketing and branding efforts. So you'll see a graphic here to the left on your screen. And this is a model based on a framework called the RACE model. So that's reach, act, convert, and engage. This is from a pretty well-known, online, marketing resource, and we'll be sharing that information with all of you. They have great tools as well as questionnaires and ways to assess your business and kind of figure out where you're at, and then, help plot that course to where you want to go. So most companies have a website, maybe they've started a social media page, do a little bit of, ad hoc online advertising, and, it's good. We know that in today's day and age, you have to have a website. That's what you hear. But it's become much larger than that. In fact, over half of the organizations lack a actual defined strategy. So if you think about it that way, the people that do are going to be taking market share from you online. They're going to be, building more trust, getting found more than you. And ultimately that is a risk and a threat. And I look at it as another point to make here is a lot of companies in manufacturing and industrial space, especially on the small business side, tend to be, a little behind, in this area, which is a good thing and a bad thing. The good thing is your competition is likely behind the trend as well, giving you an opportunity to catch up and again, get found before them or engage that potential customer in a better way through digital marketing. So we'll talk about the different components of a strategy, starting with, being able to reach your clients. And that is social media, email marketing, having your, online advertising through Google or other paid media to build awareness and get people to know who you are. And then as we move down that funnel, we begin to insert other tactics such as content creation, blogging, requests for quote, landing pages, and then comes the sales aspect. So as Linda had mentioned previously, 80% of the buyer journey is already completed prior to somebody reaching out to you. So that means engineers and buyers are scouring the web to find solutions, creating a short list of potential candidates, and then reaching out from there. So if you're not even in the consideration set, you don't know what you're missing out on because you're not even engaging them in that first, 75% of their journey, which is really become that way because information is now so readily available. Content is so readily available, and leading companies in the marketing space are putting this information out there. So if you're an engineer looking for a solution for your project, you don't want to waste time calling around town, figuring out who's got what and trying to make sense of all that. You're going to go seek out that specific information, find that specific solution. Maybe you're downloading a CAD file or a white paper or a spec sheet. If you don't have those pieces on your website and easily accessible, you may be missing the boat there. So I just want to reemphasize that point and the importance of having that information readily available for your target audience. Having said that, you want to, again, start small, start basic, make sure that you're taking care of the, marketing 101 things. And that's having a secure, mobile friendly, modern designed website that you're updating frequently, that has updated information on it, and really reflects your company, your message, and speaks directly to your target audience. There's a variety of ways to get websites these days. And I think that what's most important is if your website is, 5 years or older, that's a good indication that you really need to take a close look and start by looking at the competition online, or maybe the companies that you want to be like or strive to reach that level. And that'll give you an idea of what the leaders in the industry are doing, and you can take some cues from them. So I'll go ahead and move into one of the tools here that is offered by this company here, again, with the RACE model. And this is their assessment program. Again, that's Smart Insights. It's a big website that has many resources around digital marketing, social media, things like that. So this is a great way to grade yourself and where you're at today. And, the goal is to every year step it up a notch. By the time you're 4 or 5 years down the road, you are going to be the leader that your competition's looking up to, and that your potential customers are really engaging with because you've reached that height, and you're really meeting what is expected in today's digital marketplace. So step one, initial. There's no strategy, no measurables, no KPIs. If you're in the world of manufacturing, and I believe everyone just about is on this call, right? You understand that numbers are everything. If you're talking about, producing parts, if you're talking about, all the different aspects of your operation and production, it's all about numbers and KPIs, delivering on time, on budget. Those same, philosophies and tracking should be applied to your marketing efforts. And it could be very simple: how much website traffic, how many leads, things like that. So that initial stage is essentially, hey, this is all new to us. We've had a website built 10 years ago by, somebody that used to work in IT department, and it's just kind of out there. And we get our business through traditional means like referrals, word of mouth, and just previous relationships, or maybe trade shows, things like that. But haven't quite, gotten started yet. Stage two is probably more common these days for somebody that's just starting to realize the potential, and maybe they've done a few different things, but it's not quite a cohesive, managed, fully managed or strategic plan. And so you move to step 3, step 4, and step 5, and that's the ultimate goal is to really make digital, a strategic component around your brand in a core area where your customers and your employees or candidates are meeting to get information and engaging with your brand. And that's going to become even more important, today, millennials make up a majority of the workforce. This is the first generation that was brought up with computers, mobile, using online, making purchases. So one lesson that I think we should all walk away with is, we've all been spoiled by technology in our day-to-day lives. Hop on the phone, I need to pick something up on Amazon, couple clicks, we're done. Whether we know or not, our just personal shopping and research behaviors spill into what we do in business. So if somebody's trying to find, a supplier, for, maybe a steel distribution or service center, and they need to get bar stock for an upcoming project, and their supplier's out, there's a good chance they're going to hop on their mobile phone and start searching for, XYZ steel, or trying to find a supplier near me on their mobile device. And since we've been so spoiled with the mobile apps and these big companies making it real easy for us, those expectations spill over again into that work environment. And, companies that are not up with the times are not going to get a second look. And oftentimes, they're going to click back and go to the next one that's going to really build trust with them and give them a great experience. So remember, your engineers and potential clients, customers, they expect more from you from a digital standpoint. And that could just mean a really easy to use mobile friendly website, or, reaching that peak and having a full-fledged online presence in that optimized stage here. So go ahead and take a look at your business through this lens, determine where you're at, and make it a goal to be able to reach that next step every year until you're really a leader in your peer group. So now we're going to talk about some specific tactics that fall within the bigger digital marketing strategy. So the beauty about online and inbound marketing, like Linda had mentioned, is that you are having people come to you that have shown interest and have exhibited buying behavior. So if somebody's searching, custom tooling company, custom tool fabrication, custom carbide tools, and they find your website, I mean, that's like a perfect match. So the idea here is how do you get found, and how do you make sure that that person is going to follow through and generate either a phone call or a web form lead or even an online sale. So, but first you have to get found. You could have the best website in the world. If you can't get found, it's not going to add much value. So we talk about SEO a lot today with our clients, and just in the industry. That stands for search engine optimization. Search engine optimization is primarily the art and science of helping your company's website rank higher in search results, and Google, being the search leader, over 95% market share in the United States, is the go-to. So best practices and many of the things that you'll be doing are geared towards what Google is recommending in their algorithm. So the most important thing to realize as a manufacturer or industrial service provider is that there are hundreds, and if not thousands, of searches taking place every single month across the United States and across the world for your products and services. If you look at this graphic here on the left, you'll see a list of keywords. Then you'll see to the right there, volume. That means, or what that stands for, is the average amount of searches taking place each month. So if you look at the total here of all the 82 keywords, they're not showing them all up on the screen now, around custom tooling, there's over 7,000 searches taking place in the United States per month. If you could just get 1% of that traffic to your site and convert that into business, it could pay for itself and then some. But the goal is to make incremental improvements to get more visibility through Google, so that way you can meet your buyers and engineers where they're looking for the content, and that is most often starting with a Google search. How do you get ranking improvements on your website? Well, it starts with content. As Linda mentioned, content is, a key component of that early stage in the buying cycle. Again, going back to engineers and buyers, who are primarily our main target audience here, they want to find that information first. So creating content, relevant content, trustworthy content, and that's unique, and that speaks directly to your target audience. You want to act as if you're sitting across the table from a potential prospect, or you're doing like a lunch and learn like today, and make sure your language and the terminology is, just a fit with who they are and what they're trying to achieve. So basically what I'm saying is write content that people want to read and that people are going to learn from. And that not only helps you get found more, but that also positions you as a thought leader in the space and a source for information. So that way they keep coming back and they trust you and they get to know you, and then they can rely on you to then deliver that solution because you've helped them solve the problem just by providing that great content and those insights. So content is at the forefront of search engine optimization. So I would suggest, if you haven't already, add a blog to your website, which is like your own little news section. If you don't have a blog already, you can go to websites like wordpress.com, easily create a blog, link it to your existing website. Or if you already have a website built on WordPress or other content management systems, which is kind of like the back office of a website, which allows you to make changes and updates on your own without knowing how to code. Start by putting together a plan, and with the goal of creating one new blog post per month. And you can make this a team effort, and go ahead and ask people from different departments, and across the business, for a list of topics or frequently asked questions that they get, or maybe new things in the industry that they're seeing that could really help solve problems, and get that big list together. And then from there, you've got, the start of a content plan. And then there's different sources in terms of finding people that could write the content for you, or just even if you could have somebody that could write it in-house, that's great too. But the important thing is to make sure that you are answering the questions, you are directing that content towards your target audience. So search engine optimization, you want to get found, you want to be in the top on that first page of Google when people are looking. If you're not up there, somebody else is, and it's more than likely one of your competitors. May not be a local competitor, but it's somebody that is going to be taking market share from you. So search engine optimization is a longer term strategy. There are other pieces to it as well, not just content. You want to make sure that your website is fast, mobile, is using the best practices of today, and Google actually lays it all out and tells us as marketing professionals what they want and what their algorithm prefers. So SEO, search engine optimization, getting found, the best new customer that you can get is somebody that's raising their hand right out of the gate and saying, I need your help. I found you online. What can we do? Versus having to go and chase and call and, try to be there at the right time. You are there at the right time if you're at the top of Google, because they are searching for you right then and there. So meet your customers where they're at. Get to the top of Google through search engine optimization. Next, we'll talk about lead generation. So this is also, a point across really all the stages, and it's can use several different tools or tactics. Search engine optimization, that goal is to get your rankings increased, your website traffic increased. But what's the result of that? Driving leads, getting people to raise their hand and say, I'm interested, picking up the phone. But there's other means as well. So, having a lead generation plan is going to help you capture more interest and get more people in the sales funnel, and also helping your sales team build up their pipelines more. It's more difficult today than ever to go and just drop by an industrial park and knock on doors. Sometimes, and from my experience, you open up the door, there's nobody even in there. You have to pick up the phone and you have to, be able to James Bond your way in if you're lucky. So why not, try to, again, meet them where they're at, and that's usually online, through email and so forth. So this particular example I'm sharing is a lead database. So this is a profile of a lead, Apache Stainless Equipment Corp. An example of some of the information that is available out there today through services such as Industry Select. Some of you might be familiar with the big, Michigan manufacturing book that used to be in rotation some years ago. This is the same company, but they have an online resource instead. So you can use lead databases such as industryselect.com to find prospects, export that information, and use tools such as email marketing and marketing automation, as Linda had mentioned, to get that content out to them and nurture them over time, and then be there when they're ready to use a service that you have to offer. And email marketing, by the way, is one of the top marketing tactics in terms of return on investment. So for how little it costs and the potential that there is in terms of generating leads, new sales, and revenue, is hands down above and beyond any other tactic. So highly recommend getting involved with an email marketing automation program. Okay. Next, remarketing and digital advertising. So how can you reach people in other ways online and even the search engines? This in particular is helpful for, again, when people are busy or they're looking and doing a lot of research, and they're wanting to find something. How do you stay out in front of them? How do you remind them of who you are and what you have to offer? Remarketing has a great effect on that, building brand awareness and drawing people back in to your website for people that may have left. So you can see some of the key points down here in terms of the effectiveness of this. And this, again, is a very cost-effective solution. It may cost, a couple $100 a month, to be able to run a remarketing or retargeting campaign. Here's a little diagram on how it works. And a lot of people have witnessed this themselves in browsing for products, looking for a vacation, and you see that information back out in front of you. And you can set up those campaigns so that it's not as intrusive. Maybe the remarketing ads only show up for another 2 weeks, or maybe it's very personalized. If somebody reaches a certain page on your site, it only shows ads for that content. So you're actually bringing value and not just trying to blast out your ads and maybe bugging somebody. Growing brand awareness. Again, that's top of the funnel, getting people to know who you are. I highly recommend looking into LinkedIn ads. This is a way to reach a very specific target audience. Identity Creative brought up Kirk's earlier today. They also provide LinkedIn advertising for that company, and they're able to pinpoint target people that are working in these various businesses and sectors that need their service. So it's not just let's hope somebody finds us. This is a very targeted method of saying, I want a person at this company to see my ads. So it takes out the guesswork and allows you to really hyper focus your ad dollars and reach your ideal customer profile. Last but not least, and this is on all of our minds, is how do we find the best people, or anybody, frankly, to do, for various roles within our company. So recruitment marketing, remember that term. Employer branding, remember that term. These are all modern day marketing strategies to up your game when it comes to drawing people to your business. So employer branding, how can you think of it, from a branding perspective. Linda's talked about this extensively, getting, how can you be known? How can you be trusted? Well, now we have to flip that. And now instead of trying to market yourself and brand yourself towards your existing customers or new potential customers, now you're targeting employees or job candidates. So there's the main pillars there, your employer branding. So, think of the message, think of the benefits, think of, the different unique, things about your business that you want to share with the world, and capture that. And then you have online job platforms, career website, and then even sites like social media where you can, or social media sites where you can engage people further. So here's an example of some different components of Momentum's recruitment marketing efforts. You can see in the background here, Glassdoor. That's an online job review site, job listing site. Indeed, search your company on Indeed and on Glassdoor. Claim your profile and work to complete it to the best of your ability, and then encourage people to go and leave reviews. Some people don't even know that they have reviews out there at all. And the main job board that it's being used today is Indeed. They have, as you can see in this, one of these examples here, you have the 5-star rating. This is essentially Yelp or Google reviews, but for employers. So step number one, claim your profile. Make sure, because you don't necessarily have to create a profile for it to exist already. And, see what you find. If you have lower reviews, make sure you go and address those. You can actually respond to those, and then encourage current employees, your trusted kind of inner circle, to go out and advocate for you and provide positive reviews. You could also create short videos that's going to market yourself to potential job candidates. Last but not least, make sure that you have a up-to-date job section on your website that talks about the benefits, the job openings, your culture, and all the FAQs that would come along with, looking for new employees. Oh, save that one for later. Here we go. So hiring and recruiting stats. Again, just more information, reinforcing the fact that if you want to find talent, you need to be online. You need to make sure that you are, doing all the things that, employees today are expecting. Having that information available, making sure that you're sharing all the unique things about your business, and really putting it out there, because you are, going up against large companies that have big HR departments and large, initiatives for recruiting. So these are things that you could do really very cost effectively in short time to get yourself on the same bar as them. So what to do: claim and update and encourage reviews for job sites, add a career section to your website, and then implement an applicant tracking system. So a better way to intake applicants and respond and engage with them, because you want that experience to be really seamless. And you can see here, according to Glassdoor, 89% of job seekers say their mobile device is the most important job for searching. So that means if your website isn't mobile friendly, or you don't have job information on your site, you're already losing out to the vast majority of job seekers. So, in conclusion, having a digital marketing strategy for your business that is simple and something that that's actionable, and just easy to understand, and get people involved across your company, to have them contribute, and if you're able to do that, you're going to take your company to the next level. You're going to reach a whole new group of potential employees and customers that you weren't reaching before. So thank you so much to Identity Creative and to everyone here today for your time. We have a few free resources that you can go and look to help you, with your digital journey here. So free marketing audits, insights. If you would like, be happy to provide consultation. And just a reminder for those of you that already have a website online and maybe using Google Analytics. Google Analytics is a tracking tool for the traffic and the activity on your website. They are upgrading that and sunsetting or stopping really the old service June 1st. So it's right around the bend here. If you would need help upgrading to the latest version, you can contact us or Identity Creative, and we'll make sure that you're all set up. It's totally complimentary to the members here. So thank you so much for your time. And Linda, take it away. Thanks.
Thank you, Jimmy. And don't call Identity Creative for the Google Analytics upgrade. Go to Jimmy. So that was great stuff. Good to hear. And we want to just wrap up, tying it all together with your sales and marketing. We want you to think about creating a revenue team culture. So we talked about the brand blueprint. Everyone is on the same page with the problem and the value you provide. And that branding and marketing is integrated into the entire client life cycle. So that means, I'll get into the marketing and sales together. Inform your team about the strategy and the assets in your company. So we worked with an investment firm, and they had 25 financial advisors, and we were building all this great content and bringing in leads to the website. And the internal communication wasn't happening. So the financial advisors didn't know, wow, this is going out. You're going to be getting calls. So they get a call from somebody and you got that retirement plan? What retirement plan did they get? You don't want to do that. You want your sales and marketing need to come together. We're going to talk about that a little bit more in our short amount of time with us. Marketing and sales are no longer in silos. They work together. It's not, don't think about it in terms of sales and marketing are separate entities. Marketing sits in the C-suite now with the VP of sales. You've got to build this as a unified thing together, a unified effort together. So you can see if all this stuff is going on online, that the sales is saying, hey, we need to meet this objection. Why don't we create a piece that would overcome those objections? So no more silos. You're going to look at the dashboards, what's happening. Marketing is a continual tweaking. So the things that Jimmy talked about, the ads, the retargeting, let's look at how that people are responding to it. And the salespeople, so you get a marketing qualified lead. A marketing qualified lead takes someone to the website to complete a form. And then the sales qualified lead, now those salespeople qualify that even further. So how can your salespeople be getting marketing qualified leads if your marketing people don't know what you're looking for? So they need to have a company with 25 at least computers. They need to be able to do this and be able to afford this. This is a marketing qualified lead before we even want to waste a salesperson's time. So shift from a people-driven, Jimmy talked about how hard it is to get past doors. We know clients who cannot get past doors at all, especially after the shutdowns, mandated shutdowns. You want a process-driven revenue system. So we're putting marketing and sales on the same team to build a revenue generation in 3 phases. Step 1 is generating leads. Step 2 is nurturing those leads. And step 3 is closing those leads. And that happens online with your marketing team and comes in-house with your sales. And actually, you can be selling, maybe you're offloading some of your expensive salespeople. If you're out in sales and listening to this, I'm sorry. Or make yourself more valuable, because we have seen that where the marketing is turning in such great leads that the salespeople just become order takers. So we talked about, Jimmy talked about content. You're going to put that content on social posts, your events, your AdWords. All of these we talked about are driving them to your website. And you're going to have a landing page where they're going to come. A landing page is any page on your site where people land. We like to think about a landing page as something where you want them to do something. You're driving something there. So your ad is taking people there, your social post is taking people there, your email marketing. Always be thinking about how can we get people back home to us? And when they get there, what do we want them to do? So they fill out a form, and this is where your marketing automation comes in. And I want to touch on that and just get you aware of that if you're not already. They're going to fill out that form for their irresistible download. So we worked with ICR Services. You can go to their website. They've got 2 irresistible downloads, a servo motor maintenance checklist and a weld checklist, maintenance checklist. Those checklists, we spent time, Mark, he's marketing, and he went over to the service side, the mechanical motor repair side. What do we need? What do we people need to do? We did a draft, and they're looking at, no, they're going to need it like this. And oh, they're also going to need to have that, back and forth, a number of iterations. No, it's not, we got to turn it. We got to make it horizontal. We went through so many changes, and then this is perfect. Now let's make it printable and digital so they can keep them on an iPad. That download, those 2 downloads consistently get leads across the globe monthly because they're such high value. They're not just a lame little checklist. That is now in their system, and now we can nurture those. So go ahead, sign up for one, download one, and then you'll see the emails that come through from ICR Services. Hey, are you interested in this? Now let's lead them through this funnel. It's a phenomenal way to be creating a process-driven system. So those email follow-ups, and then you can make a call. So all of this is going into your automated system. So a lot of people are familiar with MailChimp and Constant Contact for email marketing. If you're using a CRM, if you're not, use one. If you're using Salesforce, think it through. Salesforce might be great for people, but we have actually taken clients off Salesforce and built them into marketing CRM software. Salesforce is for enterprise, really great for enterprise, but we have had clients who are overpaying for things their salespeople are not really using. Salesforce has a marketing side. It's called Pardot, and I think it's just as confusing and clumsy as Salesforce is. There are so many software options. We can help you with them, think them through. There's HubSpot, Marketo, Keep, Acton, and SharpSpring. SharpSpring was just recently purchased by Constant Contact. So if you're in Constant Contact for email marketing, you can upgrade to the CRM and build those in. It is amazing. I would love to show you how you can see when someone opens an email and clicks on a download or a link that you have, you can see it in their lead. You can send off an email right away to a salesperson who's been assigned to them automatically, and they can follow up with a lead. Hey, you're interested in this. It is a phenomenal way to add lead scores, put them immediately into a sales pipeline, track and report. You create these dashboards and get all of this marketing technology into one space. So we can help you with those, onboard those, and continue your email marketing. Kirk saw a 30% increase in their revenue in their first year. We implemented the rebranding and then their monthly newsletter so that you're cross-selling. You've got companies that are maybe buying from one area, one thing that you're doing, and you could cross-sell into other areas simply through a monthly newsletter. So take advantage of these tools that are out there. I know we're wrapping up on time. I want to just encourage you, start with what you had. Jimmy mentioned starting small, audit what you've got in the current collateral that you have, determine a budget that you're going to have so that you can do something sustainable. You're not starting out with a big bang and then it dwindles off. If you can start with a quarterly newsletter through, not MailChimp fans, Constant Contact if you much. There are other email marketing out there, but you want something that you can scale with. So if you can do a quarterly newsletter, whatever that is, and you'll be amazed that you can become content generators. We work with companies like, what could we say, right? I mean, you just start thinking that way. So test and commit and keep your message clear, keep improving. So wrapping back up to what we talked about, build your brand blueprint. This is helping you with generating things that attract talent. I'm telling you, and people know, hey, this is what we do, and this is what we're doing. This is the impact we're making in the world. Especially millennials and younger generations really want to know that they're making an impact. So getting those messages clear that can come through. We've got this example here, bringing it home. Atlas spent a ton of time to get this brand blueprint right. It's up in every single calls in their booth in their call center. It's in the warehouse, massive on the wall. They use it for onboarding and training. And then all of this feeds through their marketing. You'll see their core values and differentiators are in customer service, their vision for restoring credibility to the industry, educating their customers and creating lasting value, their brand promise, family owned, their differentiators. All of this is fed through graphically messaging back. So we're bringing it back home, get those abstract, tangible and intangible pieces of your brand, create a beautiful look and message, and then get it out there in a systematic way that it makes sense for your company. If you're going to hire somebody, this is the question and answer time, and we're running out of time. I don't want to go over. So we don't have, Abby, did we get any questions coming into the chat? I know you answered some. So please know you can contact Identity Creative or Momentum for Q&As. If you're thinking about hiring a marketing company, let me just say this. Don't outsource entirely and say hands off. We've seen people do that and they don't even look at what's being generated out there. It needs to be connected to your company. Jimmy talked about authoritative, like you're talking across from them. Outsource to get help, to make you get this done in a way that uniquely speaks to what your customer needs from your company. So we're open to question and answers. We've got those complimentary offerings, what Jimmy had mentioned. We'll give you a free complimentary ebook, or we'll even send you, because you're members of the TMTA, print, a nice, beautiful spiral bound print of Ready Brand Launch and the workbook if you're considering rebranding. Or you can schedule a complimentary brand assessment. We'll take a look at your website. We'll look at it with your competitors and what could you do out the gate to improve? What would make a plan? How could you look at this 6-9 months down the road, maybe a year? So we'd love to talk to you. Thank you so much for your attention and your time. You guys have been great, and you are keeping our world. You're building our world. We appreciate our Michigan manufacturing industrial companies. Thank you so much. And thank you again to the TMTA for inviting us for this Lunch and Learn series. Have a great day.